So the capability to enable those devices, central managed in a very secure way, is going up. Plus, as I said before, clear need to implement personal devices, to allow personal devices. The challenge that we face in looking at personal devices definitely is we are multinational company and we have over, as I said, 70 different countries that we have to serve, and there are different legal laws. Looking at our objective, we started in 2010 with first 10,000 tablets, iPads enablement. I think we set already 4 objectives. Number 1 is we want to set up a mobile mindset. Our end user, our employees should have the chance to learn, to play, how potentially existing workflows, new workflows can be handed over to mobile devices. Only through learning, we believe, I think there is a change going, a change will be supported and will drive the change. The second topic, as I also mentioned before, because we see the changes to provide more choices on the mobile device side, is we have to be device agnostic. My observation is the leader of today could be a loser in the mobile device business of tomorrow. So we need software to manage those devices and then also the application that are pretty much device agnostic. Because the whole device, mobile device marketplace is a fast-moving business. If one player is not catching up with one innovation generation, then it could be out of business pretty soon. The third is mobilizing the workforce. We have a lot of folks on the road to the customer on the consulting side, service, sales, marketing. And our job is to enable them to do their business wherever they have to do or be in contact with customers. So these are the key objectives, and that's also my recommendation going there. And the key one is also, it's not only, we learned that in 2010, it's not all about I implement an iPad, an iPhone, and put a few device apps out there, and that's it. It's an ongoing business, the mobile strategy. And the mobile strategy should be part of you, and it's already part of my strategy, of the IT strategy. And let me explain the different dimension. Starting with device management, the first question is what kind of devices you want to enable and what kind of device management tools you want to pick to manage them in a very central place. Second question is the whole application management, the life cycle, is totally different than compared to an ERP environment. We're talking about 30, 60, 90 days agile Scrum application life cycle that requires different support, different kind of skills to provide applications. We are dropping every month 5 to 10 new apps. Sometimes after 6, 9 months we're removing them because we learned how to improve and develop better mobile apps. So the turnaround is different, totally different than the traditional application management. Application roadmap, it's important to, together with the business, to lay out, what's the next 12 to 18 months application roadmap. And my recommendation is start with quick wins and then go more in a complex workflow environment, and I have more information later on how we did it. The other topic is, I mentioned also before, is training. So the user experience has to be key from that development perspective. It has to be easy to use, easy to consume. Overall, the architecture is playing then an important role. If you move in 30, 50, 60 apps and you have to support different mobile device operating system. So you need then an application framework that enables you to connect to different legacy systems. But the software that you develop can run on different mobile devices, like on an Apple device, on a BlackBerry device, on an Android device. I think the complexity will go up in the moment if you still think in different operating systems. It has to be an application development environment that helps you to support different devices, again, because the speed of innovation is pretty high. Last comment about the strategy from my point of view, security, IT security, is in playing a big, big role. We learned our lesson that injecting the IT security folks at the beginning of the project is absolutely critical. because we saw delays of projects because IT security requirements were not clearly defined at the beginning. We needed more time for security, penetration testing, etc. So I think injecting the security guys up front is extremely important. Looking at the different dimensions, so we provide a lot of choices. As I said before, we have almost over 20,000, 21,000 iPads, 22,000 phones, iPhones. We saw a shift definitely from BlackBerry. We had over 25,000 BlackBerry devices, and we are dropping to 15,000. And the key question will be in the next few months, the users that are very loyal to BlackBerry because they love the keyboard, is BlackBerry able to maintain that user community with their new devices? That will be the key question going forward, especially the keyboard Z10 BlackBerry device, if they can convince existing very loyal BlackBerry users to stay on that platform. We see also that Samsung is catching up in the enterprise with Samsung Galaxy S3 and then also S4 devices. I think we see even more bigger demand, my projection also in the enterprise business with Android, because there is software out there, like we do with our software, to manage those devices in a very secure way. Even more application interfaces to secure and remote management of those devices than the Apple environment. We started also with Windows 8 deployment on the desktop and also on the mobile side. I think this is a fascinating topic because if you look on the left side or on the side of the existing, you still have a coexistence between tablet and laptops. And the key question that I'm getting from business users, can I get rid of my laptop and move entirely on, for example, the Windows 8 mobile devices? They are beautiful devices from Lenovo, Samsung, Fujitsu that we are now test driving. Is that possible? Is the user experience good enough on the mobile side versus usage of Office documents that you used to on your laptop, also on the tablet device? So this hybrid approach, I think, will be interesting to watch this year, how this will come through. We are enabling those devices, and I think the feedback will be important. As I said before, we have 5,000 mobile devices enabled, and we started 1.5 years ago and say, we want to do this, a global deployment, we want to allow that. And we learned we have to do this by country. So we use the same infrastructure for managing corporate devices. Our SAP Afire device management allow the same models that we allow on the corporate side also as a personal device. But the effort that we underestimated is the business effort for bring your own policy, device policy, working with finance, legal, security in the different countries. We deployed those policies now in over 20 countries globally in all regions. And we continue doing that to enable those policies. But I think to attract good talents going forward, I think having that policies and infrastructure in place for personal devices, I think is extremely important. Going through the next dimension, the application roadmap. And let me go through the different dimensions in the way how we restarted our business. I think the number one business area that we looked is starting with analytics, dashboard, in the executive management area. We have a lot of dashboards in the analytic area, financials, your annual reports, financial dashboards, revenue, sales pipeline, assets. And what we did, we used our software to bring the same dashboards within a few days on the mobile device. And that got our biggest support group, the executive team, excited, and they were willing to invest even more. And I see it's changed. Today, a lot of our activities are, even on the sales side, they are required. Everybody has to be on their iPad if they do sales calls and try to synchronize how they steer their business for the upcoming weeks. So there is a change how we consume information. The second area was everything on the road. So we have our CRM system is on a mobile device, product presentation, product information, pricing, also in the whole order management topic we are moving into this very aggressively. So all the tools that you need to manage your business on the road is available. The third area is all about information. So collaboration, information that you have usually now from newspaper, magazine apps. The same approach we have also internally for very user base, user group specific information by region, etc. So the same user experience that you see in the consumer business. On the productivity and process area, we implemented a kind of Dropbox internally, because the biggest challenge for a European company is if you have a public cloud solution, you don't want to see intellectual property IP sitting outside Europe. So we implemented a private cloud solution with a mobile front end. It's now part of a product offering the last 4 weeks that we store on different, we have a data center private cloud set up that you can access Android, BlackBerry, iPhone devices can access all the documents. The biggest change is not accessing information. What I see is the discussion that we had over the last few years about paperless office, that we want to get rid of printers, etc. It's now coming through with mobile devices and cloud solutions and mobile apps. If I look at my iPad, on my iPad I have my dashboards, I have information, but the documents for the day are in order that I need for my meetings. Our board members, board of management, they're used to very aggressively to manage the day-to-day. So I'm running around from meetings to another meeting without any paper, any printout. So there's a big change going on how you manage your day-to-day. The fourth topic the topic that I also see is from a process perspective. If you see a lot of business workflows, HR and procurement, for example, shopping carts generation, shopping cart approval, vacation requests, etc. Those critical workflows are now being handed over or shifted over to mobile devices. And again, similar experience that I would compare with how you use the email function on the iPhone. Because the email function on the iPhone is because the email is already up to date, it's real time, it's easy to use. You know with few clicks how to get to your information. After maybe half a minute, you move on to the next topic. We see the same behavior now with workflows. You're in meetings. Sometimes if you're in board meetings, you even do more. You check your workflows, you approve them, you initiate them, you check your numbers, your dashboards. Again, in that moment, those information topics are real-time updated. And then you know also with 1 or 2 clicks how to get to this information. And then you move on after 1 or 2 minutes. So the same behavior that we see with email, mobile email behavior, we see also with other business functions. So it's a big change from my perspective, how we do business today and also going forward. Moving also on, the topic that I mentioned is also the information consumption. As I said, the information has to be always up to date in that moment if you want to see a consumption increase, the frequency increase of information. And what we see here is that combination of real-time information, combination with mobile analytics and the easy to use is generating this new value and user behavior. And the real-time information is only possible now because the innovation on the memory side. If you look at the cost of memory is coming down significantly, and also the power of those memory chips from Intel, it's really significant. We have now the hardware in place with 4-6 terabyte and even scale out environment with 100 to 250 terabyte of main memory server. So you could, for example, we can put our entire CRM system and ERP system into a main memory of a server. The big difference here is, if you look at that, is that you not only avoid any read-write activity on a hard disk, and that gives you at least factor 10,000 and more the performance improvement. The second big change that we see is now that those servers are now coming with 100, 200, and we see even with IBM and other vendors, 1,000 Intel core processors. So if the software, the business software is using that, like your PC, to spread the workload across those Intel processors, then you see even parallelization of business process factor 100,000 plus.